Welcome back, everybody, to some more The Guild 3. This is episode 2. If you didn't see episode 1 of this series, there's a link in the description below. It'll take you back to show you what happened to get us to this point. A couple of things that I want to set as my goals for this episode. Number one, I need a son. So right now I've just got the two daughters. I want to have a son because this is the Middle Ages. It's 1403, and sons are the way things kind of are supposed to go. So that's one thing. Number two, I'm probably going to need a bigger house because I don't think I'm going to be able to have a family of 5 in this small house. So it's possible, I guess. And then, of course, the big thing is, I don't know what this is about, why the ripple effect is happening here. What that means exactly, but it has me a little concerned. The other thing is I want to build a pub. And I want to gain citizenship. So the pub's going to be kind of my avenue to, number one, make a lot of money, but also to start building those political connections as I become a citizen and run for office. So that's where we're at. But first, we're going to need some money to do that. So we're going to pursue just kind of building our profits a little more, as much as we can. All right, well, Nelwind and Richard are expecting a baby. So let's hope it's a boy this time. Although they say that statistically, if your first 2 babies are the same gender, the likelihood of the third one being the same is very, very high. So that's why I see a lot of people with that. My great-grandfather was one of 12 kids. They had 10 boys. Then they had a girl. Then they had another boy. I'm checking out the guilds because I would love to join a guild at some point. But I don't know what status I need to have in order to be able to have membership in a guild. So I guess we'll have to find out how we go about joining said guild. I'm waiting for the baby to be born, and I still don't know what this means right here. It seems like that's like something bad is happening here, but I don't have a clue what it is. Looking at the health of my buildings, and some of them are not good, like my house, for example. Although I'm wondering if I might not be better off than selling my house, just buying a new one. But looking at my businesses, same deal. So we're going to go ahead and get these businesses repaired. I think that'll help with how people view those businesses. This one's still in pretty good shape, but we'll go ahead and repair it too. How much will it cost to build a new home? Let's see. Robber camps, things like that. I don't think we need that. Okay, here are businesses. So, pretty expensive actually. Well, right now we're living at a farmhouse. We need to go to a regular house, and so about $2,000 for that. But a citizen house is $6,000. That would be much better. We're just not nearly there yet. So, got this message in the log. Hear ye, the trial of Mabel for pickpocketing has ended. One evidence was presented to prove this. The verdict of the honorable judges is public shame. Reputation minus 15. The anticipated punishment was public shame. Corin voted for public shame. All right, so I guess you could have done something different is how that works. We haven't had the child yet. And I did get a message about one of my transporters not being able to complete the mission. So I don't know if that's what this is that somehow they're exerting influence over the market and that means I can't sell things. I don't know what the deal is with that. We'll go ahead and follow our transporter and we'll see what happens here when they try to go in. It's Adele. Where did Adele go? Oh, she came over to here, that's why. She wasn't going to the market. It seems like we've been able to sell stuff. Let's look at the statistics. So we're up to $2,000 in revenue, so we've already made a profit there. We're not going to be making a lot of profit at the Happy Farmer because mostly everything I'm producing there is going into production of cattle, which I'm sending over here to be butchered. Okay, so here is our transporter, our other one. It looks like he was able to go ahead and sell things okay. Robert, 16. My child born yet or what? I guess we're still waiting on the child. So let's take a look and see where we're at, because the next thing I want to do is buy citizenship. That's going to cost me $3,500 as well as 500 influence, and I don't have the influence right now. So let's grab Richard and bring him out somewhere. Because what we're going to need to do is build our influence. So we could ask a favor. I don't think that does it. What we need to do is, let's see, business, drive your workers. No, I don't think that gains influence. Get wounds healed. Do I have wounds?
Certainly.
Diplomacy, here we go. I don't think we need to do a lot of these things. Oh, this is the market here. You can buy bombs? That's interesting. Well, that might be kind of fun, actually. If we bomb somebody's business. As long as we didn't get caught, of course. Do we need bread? Okay, so boasting about our achievements will gain 5 influence. A church donation gives us 38. Bribe an official, no, we don't need to do that. Public relations. Praise someone in public. That costs influence. So I guess we're going to start bragging about our achievements. But we've got a long way to go. We need 500 influence in order to be able to buy citizenship. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and make a church donation over here at the Church of St. Nicholas.
Certainly.
200. That'll gain us some influence. That should get us over 400. We need to get to 5. We could do it that way, or we could do a mix of that and bragging about our achievements. We don't really have a lot of other ways to do it right now. Looks like I got some bonus for doing that, so it was a little better than 38. Maybe we'll do that again. That seems to be a nice way to do it quickly.
Will do.
That got me up to 482. It's costly, but it's effective. So let's do it one more time. Where's that at? It's over here. Now we'll go back to boasting about our achievements here. The market seems to be the place to do that. Alright, that got me up to 495. So doing that one more time will get us over 500. And then we just got to gain the money that we need. Let's go ahead and take a look at where we're doing, how we're doing on products over here. It looks like we've got a decent stockpile of products. Statistics. Alright, we've made 3,152. So that's going pretty well. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer to make the profit that we need. Alright, so I figured out what's happening here. It says someone has turned the citizens against me. That's why we're having the issue with being able to sell our products at the market. So there's obviously some sinister activities happening, and we're going to have to deal with that. So let's look at aggressive actions. There's attack someone. I don't want to attack anybody, but I'm obviously going to have to figure out a way to turn the citizens back in my favor. And I don't know exactly how. Public relations, that's the way to do that, I would guess. So let's start working some public relations with the market here. See if that does the trick. Why am I walking around to do this? Someone denounced me. That's what happened here. Alina Stoddard denounced me in public. So let's figure out who that is and how we stop it.
Can't help right now.
What is it?
I'm busy.
I'm working on the public relations, so I don't know if I walk to different people and do that. It'll increase your reputation in the village or district, and you will gain influence. So that's kind of what I need right now. Yeah, it looks like he's just walking around and interacting with different people. So we're in summer 1405, and I don't know why. My wife hasn't had her child yet, so I don't know if something happened, but I know she was expecting. So here, oh, she is pregnant. Okay, there we go. So there's a timer. We've got 2 minutes and 50 seconds until the baby is born. So I'm still on my public relations mission, trying to repair my reputation. We're up to 2,000 now in money. We need another 1,500 to get there. Eventually, then, once we have that, the next step is Hospitality 1. Which allows me to unlock alcohol, weak beer, sausage, and a public house, which is kind of what we're after. We want a pub. All right, well, as Richard continues his public relations quest, here comes the baby. And we have a son at last, whom we will name Edward. He's not very good in terms of dexterity, but otherwise decent stats, I guess. But there we have it. Now we have 3 children in that little tiny house. So I just have so many things that I need money for right now. I just don't know how I'm going to manage all of it. We're gaining some experience here while we do our public relations quest. It says that we'll get 360 experience once it's done. You can see it takes a long time. We still have a long way to go to finish that quest. Oh, now someone praised me. So, City Council paid me for overpaid taxes. Gilbert Naylor praised me in public, so that's good news. Hopefully, this continues. You can see we're building up reputation now, so that's some good news to see. We're still not even halfway through the public relations quests that we're on. It takes a really, really long time. Also, I'm looking at my children to see if they can do things like go out and play, but they're not old enough for any of that yet. Elizabeth's my oldest child, and yet she's only, I think, 3 now. Let's take a look here. Yeah, she's 3 years old. Okay. We are now able to claim the title of citizen. It's going to wipe me out financially, but that's a big, big step. You're now able to own and operate 4 businesses. I can run for office. I can send my kids to school, which won't be cheap. I can hire henchmen. I can guard buildings. I can escort someone. I can find evidence. I can spur my transporters on. I can read something out loud. And I can have a citizen house. So there we have it. Now the next step, 2,900 to get Hospitality 1 and get that long-awaited pub, which will then require more money in order to be able to build it. So let's take a look at the city records. Here's the office tree. And of course, these are now offices that I can run for. I'm not entirely sure I fit any of them, but you know, any job would do, I suppose. Even getting a job like town henchman or like a gate guard gets me 500 income plus 125 influence per round. But you have to pay 85 influence to apply for the job. So we've got to start building our influence again just to be able to get a job. Informer is actually an open position at the moment. Not entirely sure that's what I want. Council Guardian would be nice. I can apply for that. That's interesting. It says I can apply, but I don't have the influence to apply. So let's try. Nope, I don't have the influence to apply. Okay, so we've got to do that. And actually, I could have my wife apply for it too if I had the influence. All right, we're going to go ahead and add on to Richard's Beef and More because we need some more workers. We're just not producing. We've got a lot of cattle kind of backed up right now, so we need to produce them a little faster. So let's go ahead and hire another employee and get some additional beef going.
This time I'll catch those.
How much does... Yeah, beef seems like the way to go. The public relations quest continues. We're back up to 700 in gold now after investing some money in building up our business, but that should allow for profits to happen a little quicker. You can see we're up to 7,000 now in profit for Richard's Beef and More. The expenses are climbing a little bit for Happy Farmer, but again, that is simply supplying needed things for Richard's Beef and More, so it's not really making profit on its own anymore. Hopefully within the next year or two, we're going to have enough money to be able to unlock additional things. All right, we're getting a warning over at the butchery that I haven't paid protection money. So I don't know if we got some kind of a issue going on here that we're going to have to deal with. So let's take a look at add-ons real quick. We're going to probably need to take a look at building security. I'm a little concerned about what that might mean. So I think I might need to arm my workers or something. I guess we're going to have to find out what happens in 26 seconds if we don't pay protection money. I want to take a look and find out, because then that'll give me some clue as to what I need to do to protect myself. Alright, let's find out what happens here. Nothing at the moment. Getting a little nervous though. Those thieves are out there. Alright, we need to start building up our influence, so I'm going to go ahead and make another church donation. and at that point, I think we're going to have enough money, or very soon, next time we make a sale, we should have enough for Hospitality 1. We'll be that much closer
Stop clicking
to
so
our pub.
hard.
Stop clicking so hard. Sorry. We could do public relations. How about we go ahead and boast about our achievements some more over here at the market? Let's see how things are going here. We've got a decent amount of meat that we're producing. We've got 40 that we're waiting to sell, and we just seem to be having trouble being able to do that. I'm not entirely sure where Robert, our transporter, is going, but he seems to have gone an awfully long way. He went to another market. Interesting. So because he couldn't sell at the other market, he had to go all the way to another market. Why has production been halted? Oh, we must be waiting on something. Oh, we're out of cattle.
Right away.
We're out of water. That's our problem.
It'll be ready at lunchtime. Let's place a bushel there.
Okay. We've got enough for Hospitality 1, which now allows the pub. And let's go ahead and take a look and see how much it's going to cost to build that. All right, so businesses. Here we go. Public house. 1,500. That's not bad. We'll be able to do that pretty soon. I would rather build it in the city, though. It seems like we're going to get a lot more out of it if we build it in the city walls. So hopefully that's what we're going to be able to do here. Build it maybe somewhere over in here. Taking a look at the winning points here, you can see that it's winter 1407. You can see I'm still kind of pretty strongly in second place as a dynasty, which I guess is fine for my first time playing through. We definitely continue to kind of keep up with the Stoddards, who are the other significant family we have to deal with. But as soon as we get 1,500, I'm building up my influence, so I've actually got enough to run for office now, or to at least apply for a couple of offices. As soon as we build up our influence a little more, build up our funds a little more, we're going to go ahead and build that pub in the city. Okay, there it is. We've got the money, so let's go ahead and slow things down here. We're going to be a little low on funds once we build it, but we've got enough to build the public house. This is something I'm excited about, and we are going to call it the Old Toll in honor of the real public house that Richard owned in Glasgow, Scotland. Now, where to put it? I want to put it in the city if I can. Beautiful. Obviously, it's going to take some time for me to get there when I need to, but this is awesome. Is there a place that's a little more... No, I think this will work. Can I get it in there? No. Can't quite... Oh, we could squeeze it right here. I like being on the corner right here. I feel like that's a good spot. Awesome. This is exciting. This is the first big goal that I kind of set out for myself when I started playing this. And so now it will happen. Alright, as Old Toll nears completion, we're going to obviously need to look at what happens next. And that obviously involves hiring employees. So let's get that going. And now we see what we need. We need to be able to produce alcohol, and we're going to need barley and oak barrels for that. So we'll just go ahead and let our employees start working on that. I think it's probably better off not to try and produce my own barley. I think that'll get complicated, and it's just as easy just to buy my own. So we'll do that. So let's go ahead and start producing alcohol for now.
Right away.
And then once we've built up a little bit of a sum of alcohol, we'll start producing weak beer. We could actually make roast beef from our own beef if we get to the place where we're able to do that. So my next goals are to get some kind of office within the city, but then also to save up enough money to build a new house within the city over near the bar. Eventually I'm going to transfer everything I've got going into that, and we'll probably eventually tear down the other businesses and just focus on the Old Toll and focus on other things that might be associated with that. So let's take a look. Looks like Gate Guard is open. Informer is an open. Dungeon Master is an open position, and that pays nicely. The application fee is $162, and I'm just short of that. So hopefully they don't fill that office before I can gain just a little bit of influence here. So let's take a look. What can I do to score some quick influence? Let's go brag about ourselves real quick.
Certainly.
I only need 8 influence. Hopefully they don't fill that position. Okay, we got the influence. So let's go back real quick to the public offices. Dungeon Master's still available. Let's apply for that position. I need to hold an office at the... Okay, so you have to have a lower level job first to get a higher level job. So I guess gate guard it is. Oh, there's currently no election for this office. Informer? You can apply for informer.
Yep.
All right. Can Richard be an informer? That one's only 85 influence. So I'm the only candidate at the moment. I'm 25 years old, about to get our first low-level position within the government. Let's go ahead and take a look at the old toll and see how we're doing with our production of alcohol. Looks like we're starting to produce a decent amount, so I'll go ahead and swap one of these guys out for producing weak beer, which we'll then be able to start selling. Can we take a look inside the building? I might need to send Richard there to do that. Alright, Richard's made it, so let's go ahead and take a look inside the building. Hey, there it is, the old toll. Looks pretty messy, but also looks pretty empty at the moment. But that's because we're just now producing our first beer that we'll be able to put on sale. So we don't have anything currently in the front store area. And so until we do, there's really no reason for anybody else to show up. By chance, you notice a pickpocket about to cut Gilbert Naylor's purse. Without a moment's hesitation, you chase the thief off. The entire Naylor family therefore expresses their gratitude to you. Awesome. Gilbert Naylor has praised Richard Whitaker in public. So I think what my goal is going to be now is I'm going to probably go ahead and cut out the beef business. And we're going to switch the Happy Farmer over to, actually we'll probably tear it down, build a proper farm that's a little bigger. And what we'll do then is we'll just start producing barley that we can use for the, is it barley? I think that we use to make our terrible beer that we're selling here at the Old Toll, which sells for a nice amount. Yeah, it's barley.
Someone has spoken.
It looks like right now Elizabeth is still marked as my heir, but obviously it makes sense to pass it on to my son. So it hurts my relationship with Elizabeth to do that, but it seems like the necessary thing to do. What I'm looking at now is I'm trying to figure out how do I go about shutting down a business. Its value is $20,000, and what I'd hate to do would be just tear it down. But I don't know that there's an option for doing anything else. I can't upgrade. I need Agriculture 3 to be able to upgrade this building, and I obviously don't have that. I don't want to just tear it down because I don't think you get anything for that. So I'll have to try and figure out if there's something else I can do. In the meantime, let's look at the city offices, because I don't know if I actually got that job or if it's still being considered. No, I wanted Dungeon Master, but that wasn't available. All right, looks like I'm still the only person. Period of office is 4 rounds. Applications open 1407 at 13 hours and 55 until 1408 at 1:55. So we've got a couple more hours until we find out if I got the job. All right, so we're changing up our business model now. We're going to only be producing barley at the Happy Farmer, which we are going to transport to the Old Toll. So we don't have to buy barley anymore. So we'll make that our route. We'll go ahead and keep this open because I think currently in the game there's no way to sell a business, and I don't want to lose everything I've invested in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign him to adhere to storage rules. And the new storage rules are just go buy cattle. We'll tell him to procure. Doesn't seem like it's going to let me do it at the moment, but I'll figure that out. Tell him to procure cattle and just produce beef and just start selling it. All right, so we're producing barley really fast. So I'm going to go ahead and add another worker to the Old Toll so we can get our alcohol production ramped up a little bit, because we're not producing beer fast enough because it's being sold faster than we can produce it. So if we can produce alcohol a little faster, then hopefully we can start producing beer a little faster. Once I build up a nice storage amount of alcohol, then we'll switch over to making the beer a little more, and then eventually we'll upgrade and we'll be able to make strong beer, and we'll be able to sell that for even more. We're waiting until, I think, another 45 minutes or so. We ought to be able to find out the results of the election. And I am the only person who applied for the job, so it should be mine. At 13:55, we're going to get the results to that. And we'll watch and make sure everything's making a profit, but I should start turning a nice handy profit now. In addition to the 500 that I'm going to make every turn from my job that I'm about to have in 5 seconds. Here we go. All right. The election has ended. Richard Whitaker won the election for the office of Informer. The responsible electors voted. Diana voted for me. Mavis voted for me. It was the only possibility. So with that, now that I'm an Informer, do I have new options of things that I can do? Yeah, in diplomacy, I can falsify evidence. So this, I can audit people's books. So that's interesting. I can audit the books of my competitors. So let's take a look at our competitors real quick. Proposal to change city laws. I can actually do that now with my office. So let's take a look at the competitors here. So you can see that the Stoddards are really jumping up ahead now. So we're going to have to start targeting them to bring them down a little bit because they're just getting too big for their britches. So here's the budget book. You can see now Richard's Beef and More made $16,000 so far in revenue. The Happy Farmer still not really making anything right now because they're just producing for others. Old Toll has already made a profit. So that's nice to see that they've already turned a profit. My biggest problem right now at Old Toll is I can't seem... Okay, there, now we finally got some oak barrels. I didn't have any oak barrels, and so it was slowing down all of my production. I'd really like to hire another worker. I've got 2,600, so I guess I could. It looks like I don't have the ability to do that yet. What other add-ons do we have, though? Building security is probably a good idea. Let's go ahead and add the building security. We'll go ahead and increase productivity. We could add another transporter. I don't think that's necessary right now. So we're going to go ahead and practice our auditing books on a local business here first. Oh, I got to use influence to do that? Okay, that's not worth it. I really don't want to use that precious influence right now on something like auditing the books. That said, you can see that I'm starting to make a really nice profit. I've got a nice buildup of barrels now, which is something I was kind of after for a while. Now we're trying to produce alcohol a little faster. Why did I lose an employee? One of my employees must have died or something. Okay.
It will be done.
So we need somebody producing alcohol. The other two are going to be producing beer that we can turn around and sell. Statistically, you can see already making a profit, but we're also pretty high on expenses. Okay, this is going to be the last thing we're going to do for this episode now that we're in the summer of 1409. It's time to build ourselves a new home. Now, I could wait until I have enough money to get a citizen's home, but I feel like even this upgrade is probably worth it. So let's go with this one right here. Ancient Rafters. Okay, that'll work. That sounds good. It's a small house, but it's definitely better than what we had before. Wait. Oh, I didn't have the money. Just as I was about to spend it, apparently we spent out some money. So I think we'll just need to wait a little bit. All right, let's try this again. Home of the unlucky. I don't think so. Home of the lucky, maybe, if I can spell it right. We're going to throw that bad boy right here next to the Old Toll. And now our new home has begun, and once that happens, we'll move our family into the new home, we'll get rid of the old one, and we'll be slowly making our way toward living inside the city walls. Okay, so down here at Home of the Lucky, for 200, we will be able to change our place of residence, so we move in there. We can also hire a henchman. Seems like that would be a good thing to do, to just hire somebody to kind of watch the house, guard things. Looks like I built it really close to the road. So James is our henchman. He's going to guard the door and make sure nothing nefarious happens to us in our new place of residence. But we're going to wrap it up right there. A lot happened there. I'm still managing my way around the game, still figuring out how everything works. So let me know your thoughts. If you've enjoyed this and you want to see more, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you again in a couple days with another episode. Thanks for watching.